Hey everyone, Richard here, Metal Fan, bringing you guys a brand new album review, and today we're going to be looking into the new album from Overkill entitled White Devil Armory. Now this is their 17th full-length studio album, I believe, which comes out July 22nd in the States. It actually came out today in Europe, but it actually comes out here in America on July 22nd, like I said. Now let's talk about Overkill for those of you who don't know who they are. Now, they've been around since, I believe, 1980, longer than Metallica have. And they're from New Jersey, and these guys are pretty much the most underrated thrash metal band ever, in my honest opinion. I feel like these guys really deserve more than they're getting. I think they're fucking incredible. And this album, White Devil Armory, is the follow-up to 2012's The Electric Age, which I love the hell out of that album, and I love the hell out of every Overkill album, period. And my honest opinion about this, does this album actually top The Electric Age, or is it a step up from the album? In my honest opinion, yes, it has. I mean, honestly, with Overkill's more recent albums like The Electric Age and Ironbound and stuff, it just feels really fresh. It feels like very new, almost. It feels like H hasn't gotten to this band at all. It just feels like they still kick ass and they still punch you in the face every time with a new album. Man. These guys are like fine wine. With every album, they just get better and better and better, and I really love that a lot. Now let's talk about the guitars on this album. The guitars on this album sound really, really awesome. Like the solos and the lead parts on this album just sounds really great. Really enjoyed that a lot. And the drumming from Ron Lipnicki, if that's his name, if I'm saying that right. His drumming sounds really, really great. I mean, he does use a little bit of triggers on this album, but it's not too clicky, I think, just like on The Electric Age. I thought that was pretty good. And the bass playing from Dee Verney. Now, his bass is pretty audible, like on all Overkill albums. You can definitely hear his bass a lot. It's pretty much a bit higher up in the mix. But yeah, then we get to, last but certainly not least, the vocal work from Bobby Blitz Ellsworth. Wow, I mean, this guy's voice, he still has the same voice since probably the first album, Feel the Fire, which came out in 1985. And it feels like he has the same voice since then. It feels like he hasn't aged at all. I mean, obviously he's aged physically, but obviously his voice just hasn't changed at all. It feels like he has the exact same voice on all the albums they have ever done. And I thought that was really fucking awesome. It's just hard to believe. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into this album, shall we? Now, the album opens up with a little intro called XDM, which is a really good way to start off this album. It's like a 49-second song. It's sort of like a great kind of like a build-up, which then leads into the next song called Armorist, which sort of kicks you right in the face. And this album is actually the first single off this album, and the first new bit of Overkill that we heard in nearly 2 years. It's just a really impressive song. I really enjoyed that a lot. Then we get to the next song, Down the Bone, which has some really pummeling drums. I feel like it's the best song drumming-wise. It's really great, and I really enjoyed that a lot. Then we get to the next song called Pig, which is a kind of a weird song. It's just all in all caps. It's a pretty good song, if you ask me. Then we get to Bitter Pill, which is another good song. I really enjoyed that a lot. It's pretty awesome. Then we get to Where There's Smoke, which is another impressive song, and I really love the guitar solo on that song. It just sounds really just ripping. It's just really awesome. Then we get to the next song on the album is called Freedom Rings, which starts off with a little bit of a bass intro from Dee Verney. I think he sort of uses some different effects with that bass, like different distortion pedals and stuff. It's just really a mid-pace sort of intro almost. Then it sort of builds up and it kicks right in. Yeah, it's just a really great song. Then we get to the next song called Another Day to Die, which is pretty much sounds like a classic Overkill song, something I would hear from their stuff from the 80s, which is a really good old thrasher. I really enjoyed that a lot. Then we get to King of the Rat Bastards. I really love that song a lot. It's pretty good. Then we get to the next song called It's All Yours, which is a very groovy song. It almost sounds very groove-oriented. And then we get to the final song on the album called In the Name, which is a really great way to end this album. It's just very epic, has like an epic feel to this song, and I really enjoyed that a lot. It's a really great way, it's sort of like the one last hurrah to end this album. Now overall, White Devil Armory is a pretty good album. If I were to give this album a score, I would give this album probably a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this album a lot. And if any of you are a fan of metal, or if you're pretty much a fan of Overkill, I would recommend checking out this album. It's fucking awesome. So yeah, that's my review of the new Overkill, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Keep it metal.